Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Clara.
And today we are reviewing with our first reactions to Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 2, Episode 1.
The Epiphany.
Because the three wise men, they came, they were excited to welcome our Sabrina, the Jesus of devilness. She is the Antichrist, I guess, and to her ascension. It is the devilish version of coming to be happy for someone. Instead, you put rats and stuff.
Keep going, Dan. This is good stuff. Keep it up.
So, what we're doing here with Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is every day, Monday through Friday, we'll be putting out 2 videos, and we will be reacting/reviewing each episode as soon as we watch it without having watched the other ones. So we have no other future spoilers. It's just episode 1. And we're going to do these quick, rapid fire. They're going to be quality programming. So what did you think of the Epiphany?
Well, I liked it more than the Christmas special.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're back in the saddle again, and for better and worse. Olga is judging the fuck out of us behind the camera.
Yeah, if I'm laughing hysterically at something you can't see, it's Olga's face.
Which is why I'm behind the camera.
So, having been away from the show for a while, it took me a while to get back in the zone. Right? Because I think that when we saw I didn't expect very much when we watched it the first season, right?
Yeah.
And so it was the newness of it, I feel like, overcame some of its shortcomings.
And can I just butt in and say, I think the tone of the first episode of season 1 was pretty dark. Because they were making a point of like, oh, this isn't your old Sabrina.
Ain't your daddy's Sabrina.
And this didn't do that because we were jumping right back in.
Yeah. It was more quirky. I got back on board with the characters for the most part. I think that there were some weird choices, though. And the thing that I felt was the hardest to get back into was the mythology of the show and how it makes 0 sense. Because the more they go into it, the more I'm just like, so why do any of these people actually support this religion in any way? How is it good for them at all? I don't really see, unless you're a man, like...
Christianity. Excuse me. Clear my throat back here.
I'm just like, my point being, like, there's all these weird contradictions where I'm like, so they don't like demons, even though demons are, like, from hell. And,
So, and, like, it's really bizarre because they started, like, throwing in some names from, like, esoteric or cult history in the whole Inquisition. What were those names?
It was like a debate.
Whatever.
It was the 3 challenges.
The Inquisition.
Yep.
And, like, these are people who specifically did Christian magic, like, specifically with, like, angels. And, I don't know. I just don't understand this religion. Example? John Dee.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember this.
Invented, I don't know, whatever, like, Enochian. So, like, the language of angels. Oh, yeah. And, like, this is a Christian, like, I don't know. I'm upset that.
Yeah, I think they're definitely still pushing hard for the allegories of misogyny, obviously, and hypocrisy within the actual Christian
It's not
church.
even allegories.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're right. There just is sexist there. Well, the allegory is to the Christian church. It's not really an allegory to sexism as much as it is Christian hypocrisy. But
the men's club.
Yeah, the men's club.
But like the first season did feel much more like allegory, and they would like hold back just a little, like or make it funny, and it would just be a little like an actual men's club. Like, it
was a step too. Well, that's a good point to be like. So if you were in theory, right? So we have the human side of this and the warlock side of this, right? And in theory, you would think, oh, in the human side of it, we see, like, what we actually deal with. And the warlock side of it, we see, like, an extreme, over-the-top facsimile of it, not just the same thing, right? Because that's the whole idea of doing an allegory, is you don't just do, in our alien world, we have racism. You do, like, we don't like the blue people. It's like a little, you don't just straight up go, we don't like black people in the alien world.
And so having like two stories at the same time deal with issues of gender and sex was a little like yeah, we get. You don't need to give me a real life example when you're showing literally a boys' club where they drink and have strippers.
Because that's the thing. Yeah, it's true that you don't need the.
Then what's the point of the side?
Yeah, you don't need. Or you just don't do the Susie Theo thing at all because you're doing that story just in a funner way and it's still telling the same story, right?
Right. Now, like to be, I like that that like Theo
becomes
feels
Theo
comfortable being Theo. Like that's a cool storyline and like good to have.
I didn't
need this basketball team.
Well, I think that they handled it very poorly because to me, this story honestly reinforces why someone shouldn't be on the all-men basketball team because Theo couldn't play basketball well and just wanted to, so therefore they deserve it.
And friggin' Sabrina, like, can she do something good with her magic for change? I mean, like, it's difficult to be sympathetic towards her.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to be very sympathetic.
I know, but like, she's the main character.
Yeah.
Olga's judging the heck out of me.
I'm like, wait a second, isn't her helping Susie / Theo actually?
No,
it's a bad thing.
Because what about when Sabrina doesn't go to the game?
Well, that's what I said too.
Yeah, or any of the practices.
Yeah,
because like you could buy that she would go to the games, right? But every single practice, Sabrina's or did she just imbue him with the ability to play basketball well permanently?
But then she wouldn't have been chanting before each basket.
That's true. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and I just don't think to me, it's one of those like backwards. I'm going to sound like such a conservative right now, but it's one of those backwards, like overreaching liberal things, like storytelling, where it's like, yeah, okay, I get the idea of you want to say you shouldn't have men's clubs and all that stuff.
Why did he have to be bad at basketball?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was saying to Olga, as I was like, if this episode started with Theo and what's his name, Harvey, playing basketball, and Harvey was like, holy crap, you're so good, you should totally try out. And then they went into this, then that's a story that like your leftist agenda makes sense in. Whereas
brother.
Whereas here, it just makes you sound stupid. Because you're literally having to use magic to make them capable of playing, therefore the mean men were right. That's a terrible execution of the message.
So I would agree that I don't really know what they were going for with that. Yeah. Also with Sabrina, because she cheats in the first test, she fails the second test, and then she just refuses to do the third test.
Yeah.
And what the fuck is Nick all about? I don't like this kid. I don't like him.
I think that they need to do more with him. I think...
Well, it looks like they're gonna.
Yeah. I think a lot of... how do I say this as diplomatically as possible? A lot of people do seem to like him based on his facial features.
Oh, he's a cute boy.
Yeah. I think I liked him in season 1. I felt like he bucked some trends. I liked the fact that he like actually helped out Harvey and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I felt like he struggled a little bit in this episode acting wise, personally. And he just felt a little bit, he doesn't feel like a believable human being yet.
Right.
He has no like backstory. He has no personality.
Why I don't trust him.
And he has no like vulnerability or goal other than telling Sabrina she's cute.
Yeah, which also I really don't. I don't know how we're supposed to. Look, I have a thing to say, Olga. I don't know how we're supposed to feel about when Sabrina challenges him and that's top boy. Okay, anyway, that's weird. When she challenges
you're my
him,
top boy.
Thanks.
Oh, that's really
You're
cute.
my bottom bench.
When Sabrina challenges him and he's like, I don't mind, especially when it's someone that cute. And am I supposed to look at that and be like, that's a sweet thing to say?
That's because he's a warlock and they're all very saucy minxes.
Ambrose is a good boy.
Well, Ambrose.
But he's
actually,
still
wait.
a
That's
good
an important point, though. The Ambrose Sabrina scene, I thought was a highlight.
Why does Ambrose go to high school now?
Yeah, that was a weird choice.
By the end, I was like, wait, what? It felt like fanfic. Like, look, I want Ambrose in this as much as possible too, but he can't go to high school.
Well, I'm also confused as far as like he could have been like a new like apprentice or something. He didn't have to be top bitch.
I thought that he was there like as an adjunct faculty member.
Well, going back to the mythology thing, so he's like embarrassed and like ashamed that she wrote her name in the book and that he's going to have to do the Dark Lord's bidding. But didn't she get raised her entire life to look up to the Dark Lord? I just don't understand this religion. I don't get that either.
Or is it that now that she's met her mom and realized that her mom wanted her to be a Catholic instead, she's having these doubts? But yeah, you'd think that like how she was raised, her mom is dead.
And her mom clearly loved her husband enough to see past it or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm confused. Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah. I think that the number one thing they need to fix is the mythology, because I love Kieran Shipka. I even though obviously I do think Sabrina's making bad choices, I still really like watching Sabrina. So I don't know. Let's see what happens in episode 2.
You know what? Ultimately, super fun.
And we'll see you in a few hours for episode 2. Bye.